You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
That'll be a script. Script reads me.
Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 We trade actors, motherfucker.
Hey, good day to you all.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative
host,
Network.
Randy Perm.
For more,
and Happy New Year. That's right. It is a brand new year, and I did not get a chance to come and see you all on Monday. I had actually a conflicting schedule going on. I had to run to the doctor, and I realized that the time was during the show time, and so. But I'm here nonetheless. Happy Friday, fantastic Friday. As you know, we take this time to thank our men and women who are serving our nation around the world, making the great sacrifices and commitments that they do. And we salute you, and we thank you, and we honor you for your service. And without further ado, today we have a very special guest with us. A man of many hats. A man that does not really need an introduction, but he needs an introduction because most of you all probably have never heard of him and don't know who he is. But I'm going to present to some and introduce to others Mr. Ashley Weis. He is a co-founder of Red America First, and we're going to get into what Red America First is and all that good stuff. So I'm going to shut up and bring him on, and that way you all can get an introduction to the man, the myth, and the legend. Mr. Weis, how you doing,
yes,
sir?
Randy, thank you so much. No, thank you so much for having me. We are very excited to be on and to connect with your viewers and your channel. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is my honor to have you on. Finally, you know, we talked about it for months, trying to get you on and everything else. So we finally locked it in, and here we are. So Ashley Weis, tell the American people. Actually, this is an international audience as well, because we do stream overseas to Africa and to Europe as well. So we do have viewership over there also. So tell the world what is Red America First.
Oh, well, perfect. Thank you again for the opportunity. Red America First is red is the blood of Christ. America First is the America First policies and candidates. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization that started on August 19th. So we're literally 4 months into it, very, very new. It exists as an alternative grassroots pack that brings faith back into politics, as we are the one nation under God. And a lot of people want to forget about that. This is for conservatives who do not like the current political landscape and have no confidence that the current established conservative groups are even listening to the concerns and addressing their issues. So we're focusing on listening to the unheard Americans that the traditional politicians seem to ignore, and only focus on the lobbyists and special interest donors. So that's kind of our organization at a high level.
Awesome, awesome. So, what challenges have you seen in terms of setting up this the Red America First? I know.
Well,
given just the name, just the name sends off bells and whistles to the left. So, I know you probably seen some or experienced some roadblocks along the way. If you
yes.
don't mind sharing what some of those have been.
So thank you for asking. So throughout many of the most recent years, a lot of us that are up and coming, we grew up 70s, 80s, and in the 70s and 80s, an American middle class family, American families, it didn't matter what class, church was a big thing. Going Sundays, companies and organizations closed on Sundays. We're not there anymore. And you go back 2 years in time, religious freedoms have been challenged. So I'm very passionate individual, and I believe our country was founded on Christianity principles. And we want to bring all that back. And in parallel, we want to push candidates that support the founding fathers' principles. So there has been a lot of challenges, and I was kind of I wanted to bring up one of them. We have a thousand plus member team organization, but we can only get on because we have weekly calls. We can only get like 20 or 30 members on the call. And that's because really, our team members that we have on the conservative Christian side, they just don't have a lot of time, So when you look at then there's a question, going back to the 1,000 team members that we have, we don't have a lot of spare time, right? Because we're working full-time jobs. We have to take our kids on special activities or even go to church on both one day in a week and then on the weekend as well. But think about it in a general election perspective. That every precinct that I've ever drove to or witnessed, because again I'm also connected with GOP organizations. There's always 1 to 5 Democrats that are running that precinct outside of the building. Signs, chairs, balloons. Meanwhile, our side, the Republicans, we're lucky to get 1 person or 2 people to volunteer to go inside to witness what's going on inside, because we all know that how voting integrity is going. It's non-existent. Just today, Raffensperger announced investigation for ballot harvesting in Georgia. So our 1,000 team member organization, like I mentioned, we can only get 20 or 30 on. So one of my challenges is obviously to grow the organization and get more people because we want to cover all 50 states. But the Democrats have more members on the sideline without responsibilities, no job, not paying taxes. So their ground game has always been easier to battle in relation to getting the ground game going and having a lot of resources available, boots on the ground.
Yeah,
But
you're absolutely right about that. And I noticed that over the years myself. Being in the political spectrum of things, that we are horrible as a party, just collectively. We're horrible with showing up and showing out. Showing up to events, showing up on calls, showing up, just even financially showing up. It's the GOP has been horrible with that. I see it's the last year, ever since the 2020 election. I see a slight turn in interest, but it's like, to me, like the New Year's resolutions. You say, on January 1st I'm gonna do this, and then 30 days later you're back to your old habits. And that's how I see the Republican Party right now. It is right now we're pissed off about the election, so we're being activated and active. But I would say probably within the 90-day window of the 2022 elections, you're gonna see it's just gonna get just dead quiet from the right. It's gonna be just dead quiet, because they're gonna lose interest. They're gonna be busy, like you said, and it's a shame that we have to keep reminding ourselves that, hey, we have work to do. Yes, we have our personal lives. Yes, we work. Democrats work too. Some of them. But for some reason they find the time, the energy, and that opportunity to support their causes. Yeah. And we are an epic fail at supporting our own causes. It's just like I am like baffled at the whole idea that Republicans just sit on the sidelines until it's too late, and then they jump up and down and, oh, this is not fair. It's like, well, you've been sitting on your ass for the last whatever window a time that we had to make sure things are correct and right. Yep. And so that's what I'm so blessed to have you on today, because you're one of those change agent leaders in the industry, so to speak, to put fire under people's bellies to say, hey, we can't sit around no longer and just be passive about this. The Republican Party from the inception has always carried a passive attitude. We cling to the cross and say turn the other cheek, but there's that time where Jesus even was pissed off and took action, and we tend to forget that aspect of it. And so I personally want to thank you for leading the charge in this fight to wake up Americans, because I've been a part of the team, the Red America First team, for a few months now, and I love the work that the organization is doing. The calls, the sharing of information, and everything else. And I encourage the audience that's watching today to please go to RedAmericaFirst.com. I'm going to emphasize this throughout this interview, this show today, to go there, join up. It takes literally 30 seconds to fill out the little application to join up and be plugged in and be a part of the team, be a part of the network of the amazing people around the United States who are standing up to fight for our liberties, our freedoms, and our way of life. These are the very things that our men and women in uniform are fighting on our behalf to preserve for us on a daily basis. If we can't figure out how to take 5 to 10 minutes or even an hour of our day to defend our own liberties, then we don't deserve them. And that's exactly how I feel. And people get pissed off at me about it when I say that kind of stuff to them. They're like, "You're talking down to me," like, yeah, okay, whatever. If the shoe fits.
No, it's a reality. We definitely need to work together and support one another and rely on each other. And right now, you don't really see that, right? You see a division inside of our own Republican Party. And, on the other side of the aisle, you see that the Democrats are united, right? They pick certain policies and they push forward. And once that falls into play, they're starting to work on their next actions, right? Where we, the Republican side, a lot of the Rhino individuals, right? Like you mentioned earlier, the ones that are looking for the deep pockets and the special interests and lobbyists,
Yep.
those aren't the people that our organization's looking for. Uh, we're looking for more people that are for we the people, not
Yes,
not focused on
absolutely. And I was just
their
about to ask
how
you,
much money they can make.
what kind of candidates or incumbents? Because I know your organization is supporting incumbents who are up for re-election and what have you as well. So what qualities, if you will, attributes is the organization looking for in these candidates that the Red America First is looking to support?
Well, before I go into the candidates, are you okay with going over the goals and vision that we have?
Yes, please. Yes, yeah.
Okay. So from a short term, right, we just hit our 4-month anniversary and we're trying to grow and expand as much as possible. So our first 3 years would be focusing on growing our branding, mission, and in parallel, continue to work with candidates nationwide to support their campaigns. And in the 4-month period, we've running for Senate in Alaska, Bobby Pitton, Senate candidate for Illinois, and several Congress candidates, such as yourself, Randy Perham, state of Alaska, Teddy Daniels for Pennsylvania, uh, J.R. Majowski for Ohio, and Christine Quinn here in Florida, and also other candidates here locally as well. So long-term goals that well, I also forgot, we also had interviews, an interview with Dr. Peter McCullough, right? This is a whole COVID vaccine is a very sensitive topic, and a lot of people in our pack were worried because it's against their religious beliefs, and so we actually reached out with lawyers and created a religious exemption form that is bulletproof and has been accepted now with over 20 organizations. So we're always looking after members in our organization and also candidates that focus on America First policies. So the long-term goal of our well, during our meetings, the whole team on Red America First gets to participate and listen to these candidates that are running. So we get to figure out what's their campaign, what's their their objectives, some challenges that they're having, and then we get to listen to kind of what their strategy is and what their campaign's about, and then there's a question and answer period that all of the members can ask candidates specific position questions or how they would handle a current event, So there's a lot of things that have been transpiring since Biden took office that a lot of us could agree that's not Red America First, and that there's a laundry list. So these things that transpire, our team members can ask those candidates what they would do in that situation and how they would handle it, and it allows us to understand and kind of spread the word. So these weekly meetings then get rolled in, and we're promoting them on Rumble. So when you go on Rumble, just put Red America First in your channel. We only have one video up there at the moment, but that's the long-term goal. Is we're going to have all 50 states covered, and local level challenges that get promoted into our organization because we have a database of issues that go on at the local level. And then what our PAC will do is work with the in-office politician, if it's an America First candidate, not non-Rhino, non-Democrat, that we could talk and work out the issue and challenge, at least have some kind of data to bring back to the team. Or if it's a area that we have Rhino or Democrat in office, then the political candidate that's running, and if it aligns with our mission and kind of what we're after, then we're going to have them try to push the change that challenge that's going on at the local level, because we feel that it's very crucial that we hear the unheard Americans. And I think that's one of the biggest things that are going on throughout the several years. A lot of people are burnt out, tired for hearing a lot of promises and they're all broken, and then fast forward or rewind, because today's 2022, back in 2016 when Trump was running, he was reaching out to all over the country. I think he had more rallies than any politician that I know of, and he was trying to get the word out, and also he's connecting with the unheard Americans, and we kind of like that approach, and we're wanting to kind of do that, follow that motive. We will also provide a fundraising extension for the Red America First candidates that we support. Listen, we just were reached out to provide a candidate guidance for what next steps that particular candidate should do. Candidates sometimes get in these pickles, and they wanna rely on some expertise or some guidance, and we just did that today. So our team is all about bringing the country back, bringing the religious freedoms back, and with a Christian faith. So
awesome. Like I said, Ash, y'all, you're doing beautiful work. It is akin to God's work, that this organization is doing for the American people, and it's unfortunate. I try not to put myself into this realm, but it's unfortunate that we don't have that kind of the traction to get the voice out there, our voices out there to the masses like that. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Facebook. I'm on every social media platform, and I got like 5 followers. And it's just like, it's crazy. You see these like fly by night guys come along, and they got like 1 million followers in 2 hours, and it's like, what? But I did this first, So, Red America First is in this organization, and even yourself. You're in that mode as well. You're doing phenomenal work, doing great things, but you only have a few loyal folks that are following along.
Yes.
And it's just like it's frustrating. I get it. I know better than most. It is frustrating that you can't. You have a powerful message, you got a powerful voice, but it's just not loud enough for some reason. And you ask yourself every day, what do I have to do to get even louder so everyone can hear me and everyone can be on board? And that is a frustrating piece. And you have a long time. You got that long-term goal to get there, but it needs to happen today. It needs to happen.
So you bring up a good point, right? So we actually are at war for information right now, and this is a proven fact. The first and foremost, we live in our current country state. It's a 2-tier justice system. We have discrimination, not substantially, the legacy discrimination, but now we have a new discrimination that's been added. Now we have political discrimination, and now we have medical discrimination.
Yep.
That's just transpired. So if you are either on the freedom of choice side for vaccinations, or if you're a Christian, or if you're a conservative, you are going to hit roadblocks with social media. I've hit roadblocks with Nextdoor, Facebook. We had over 10,000, maybe 20,000. That's not a big number, but on Twitter, and we got permanently banned. And we got permanently banned for just resharing something that somebody else posted. Is that fair? No, it's not. So when you express, it's an uphill battle to get the word out, and then you say something about Fauci or about Biden's family or something that the big tech disagrees with. Now, whatever following you have could be erased just like that, or temporarily muted. And that again is not fair. So we've been in this battle, and I'm a little tech savvy, so we try to find workarounds.
Yep.
And we're using Telegram for very sensitive things that we already know Facebook and Twitter will get mad about. So we put it there, and then we just we push the link on the other media sites and say, hey, go look at this. But then you have 50% or 60% of your following might not want Telegram, might not have Telegram. So those people you're not able to touch, but you're right. We need to grow and get the word out. And the only way to do it really is for us all to jump on each other's organizations and interviews like this and get the links and push it out. That's the only way we could do it. And the more people that we could get to help do that, the more people we're going to touch. It's all a numbers game on this information war. But on the conservative side, we don't know if our post is going to last. We don't know if it's being shadow banned. I can tell you right now that my impressions were in the millions, okay, and now we're substantially lower than that because Facebook rolled out with this new 90-day. We're going to put you at the bottom, and that's just Facebook, right? Twitter banned Taylor Green, so the conservatives are at war for information to get out right now, and it's all biased. So the liberal media, the TV shows, the newscasters, all of them are in it in a way battling against us. So
you're absolutely right. And it is sad and unfortunate that we have these platforms, we have the social media platforms like Facebook and everything else that we financially support in a sense. You may run ads on these platforms. You may not. You may click on something that you support or like. So the money is being funneled through in some fashion, figure, or form through these organizations, and we turn around and you still get slapped in the face with with suspensions, restrictions, and everything else. It is like, what happened to the days of free, fair, balanced media? And thank God for TECN TV that we are free,
Amen.
fair, and balanced. I'm not gonna say so much balanced. I would retract the balanced part. We are very, very much like strong, hard conservatives, but we're balanced in the sense of like we'll bring on anybody. I had Democrats on here and had great conversations with them, and we took our disagreements offline, but we kept it, professional and everything, for the sake of the audience, just to exchange those ideas. But TCN, we don't do any of that censorship stuff. It's like, hey, if you got a voice, you got something, you got a message to put out there, here you go. Go for it. And I remember the days of social media when it first started. Back in the day when we had Yahoo Chats, MySpace, BlackPlanet.com, those platforms I started out on back in the early mid 90s, and going forward, when we were still using the AOL disc. You go to the corner store and get the little AOL free, the free what was it, like 3-day trial or something like that. You come home with a stack of them, so you just keep redoing them. And I was very boisterous back then on social media. Matter of fact, I pride myself on always telling people that I was one of the first people that was kicked off of social media. I was banned off of I was banned on MySpace.
Oh my God!
I used to catch suspensions on MySpace. Yes. And
what did Tom do to you?
Yeah, I was being of the time, being a conservative and African American was a thing of unicorns. That was, you're like a true, like, you're unheard of type of thing. So, but I had the same sense back then, because I've been a conservative for 25 years. So going all the way back to high school, and I always found myself in these political battles and discussions, even amongst my own race and type of thing. So it was no thing for me to be on MySpace and you know, being a keyboard warrior and and having these battles and getting blocked and banned and reported. This here, what we're going through right now, is a whole new level of it, though.
Yeah.
You know, we have actual the organization itself monitoring and watching. It's like 1984 all over again. Big Brother's watching you, and this is like, wow, like no kidding.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It is mind blowing. I get it. You know, you have the one or two people that might be, you know, butthurt. You know, they get sensitive and they want to, you know, tell on you and they hit the report button. Okay, I got that. But you don't even have to worry about that anymore. You got you got Mark Zuckerberg himself sitting there monitoring and Jack Dorsey monitoring your page. I consider it as a high honor, to be honest. And I'm like, while you're monitoring my page, you can go ahead and donate to my campaign, or you know, you can go ahead and cut me a check real quick before you put me on the 30-day ban notice. But for Red America First, you know, for the organization, how do you see yourself? How do you see the organization overcoming these challenges?
Well, so very, very good question. In relation to social media, you know, first and foremost, you know, we are teaching our kids that the world, you know, will be shaped and revolve around them rather than the other way around. You know, trying to eliminate gender or segregating our country based on race. That's not the path that we should be going. And when it relates to social media, how are we going to, you know, counter that? Again, our platform to promote people and join our weekly calls. Hopefully, we grow it, and the goal again is to have every state covered, to have representatives that believe in defending the country and believe in religious freedoms and have the Christianity faith and believe in what the founding fathers established for our country. And those types of people, because, you know, we're all passionate and we all know that our country is under attack from within. And we just need more patriots that believe like we do, join our calls and monitor what's going on locally. You know, one of our members expressed that they witnessed a false flag. I mean, they saw somebody drive a semi tractor trailer over tracks, leave the vehicle, and then, you know, there was a train derailment. You know, so there's information, intel sharing that we do after the candidates drop off the call, and we just share what's going on. We got candidates, or it's not candidates, but we got team members in California, Alaska, all the way to Maine, and you know, spread out throughout the middle of the country. We don't have Hawaii yet, but everyone's saying, hey, there's tankers in LA. We see them. They take pictures. One person was actually had a balcony, went in the balcony while we're all on the call and said, look, flipped the camera around and showed all the tankers. You know, this was months back, but that's the kind of intel we're sharing, because the news and the social media is going to censor us. How are we going to get the message out, right? So it's a two-part kind of system that we try to do weekly. We try to promote candidates that are running and see what they're about, to kind of measure if they're Red America First, candidate, and they're ready to participate. And, you know, we're going to help them, push them through and help their candidacy, and also help raise money for them. But then there's a part where the team members get to go back and forth and communicate what's going on at the local level. So that's one way that we're combating the social media and also the mainstream media, right? Because the mainstream media is going to say, oh, you know, our democracy's at risk. And like you said in your intro, the intro was the best intro I've seen. It shows the mainstream media their script. So they're controlled by the special interests. They're controlled by, you know, these very corrupt people and powerful individuals. So some people can say big pharma, some people could say big state, you know, and you know, Bongino said it great yesterday. deep state, secret state, whatever you want to call them. All of those individuals are pulling the strings on mainstream media, and they're also pulling the strings on the rhinos. They're pulling the strings on the Democrats that I don't even know an ethical Democrat at all in my life. I don't. But on the Republican conservative side, there are people that do want to do the best for the country, right? So those are hard to find, and that's the kind of candidates that we're after. So earlier you asked me what kind of candidates we're looking for. So it's individuals who will be willing to stand up and stand their ground on issues that they believe in, and not be swayed by power and money, and ultimately not forget the religious freedoms, because we all know how that hasn't really been transpiring in the last couple of years. In fact, we're going to have an interview with a pastor that was arrested, in Tampa. So it's on the plan for us to talk and have that individual on. It's because Christianity is important for our country.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, our platform is going to be focusing on candidates that are concerned about we the people, and not how much money they can profit from. So, our Americans are not being heard at all. Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You nailed it. You nailed it right there. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. We're gonna jump to a short commercial break, because I wanna come back and have some great continue this great discussion that we're having right now, because I feel is tremendously important that the American people understand where we are today in where the American people are today in terms of the rest of the world. So when we come back, we're gonna talk about some more things here. So keep it locked right here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in a couple seconds.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Everything that's reported on television isn't always true, but it should be. NTD, the power of truth. Now available 24/7 on television and streaming platforms.
Hello everyone, this is Global Impact with David McQuell, your host. Isaiah chapter 2 verses 1 to 5 says that a time is coming when the church will rise in authority and influence and dominate the earth. And many nations will come and say, teach us the ways of the Lord. Global Impact is a show that inspires you as a Christian to rise up through the values of the kingdom of God and shine as light wherever you may be. We believe that missions is no longer limited to some isolated, unreached community in some dark continent. The church should reach out to all aspects of life, including politics, business, science and research, the media and diplomacy, and every aspect of human life. Join us on Global Impact, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. GMT. Global Impact is broadcast on TECNTV.com. Join us.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Hey, welcome back. So we're going to bring back on Ashley Weis. He is co-founder of Red America First, 501c nonprofit organization designed to spread the word of bringing conservative candidates who believe in Christ, our country, our way of life, and everything else. So we're going to continue our conversation with Mr. Weis, great friend, true patriot. I mean, when you're talking about patriots and what the definition of a patriot is, you can forget about 1776 patriots. You can put them to the side for the second. He is the rebirthing of what an American patriot is. And so, without further ado, thank you for staying with us and not hanging up and running away saying, you know what, this is lame. I got better things to do.
No, no. And then that's actually false. I have nothing better to do but try to save this
I
country.
appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you totally. Like I was telling American people, with the international, I keep saying American people because I get hung up on saying American people because what we're going through right now is like almost solely just affecting Americans, but this is actually an international ordeal that we're facing, and I need to remind myself to stop worrying about America, just solely America. I need to worry about the rest of the world because I have brothers and sisters all around the world that are facing and going through the exact same things that we're going through. And that's my question to you, sir, is what do you see in terms of what's going on socially in our society today, socially and politically, for that matter? Like, what are your thoughts about what's going on today?
Well, it's definitely freedom is slowly trying to deteriorate, right? So they're slowly, and this is global, like you said, right? So we're seeing what's happening in Australia. We actually have some individuals that share information globally with us, and that are connected on our various social media sites, and we'll cover that at the end. But their freedoms are getting taken away. More and more division is being added, and it's by design. So from a political climate perspective, right? People are quick to jump into their political tribes and no longer want to have discussions or debates because they just can't agree, right? Bipartisan is simply non-existent in our country and probably globally. I don't really pay attention to the politics in other countries other than what's shared with us, but again, it's non-existent unless there's a lot of financial benefits for everyone that works at the Capitol. Then you'll see bipartisan flexing going on, and you'll see some fist pounds between both parties, right? You'll see Lindsey Graham giving a fist pound to Kamala Harris, right? This is what you see, right? It's very transparent in front of your face, but yet some of our brothers and sisters in the world just can't wake up and see that this is all happening in front of us, right? So when you see the financial benefit for the Capitol and the bipartisan kind of fiction, none of those laws that they passed for that bipartisan bill is really for we the people. It's not. When you actually research those bills, you'll figure out that it's for other countries, it's for other causes, and the American people. I mean, we know it. We've seen it in the last 2 years. It's very transparent and very obvious. So the political and social climate right now is shifting towards dark times, and when you add the religious freedoms being taken away, and or the tyranny that's been spreading when it relates to things that are unconstitutional, right? Like the vaccine mandate, like the mask mandate. We got involved in local school boards, and you hear the local school boards, say that parents don't have rights to their children. I mean, I was physically there and I heard it. I was physically kicked out for exercising my First Amendment right, and kicked out of a school board meeting, right? So we are living in a very hostile, non-First Amendment atmosphere, and the only way to overcome this is really we got to make a stand. We have to align with people that can file the lawsuits, that can push back and make this all this tyranny go away. But we're not going to do it if we don't stand up. And that's what our mission is, right? We're trying to build an army of individuals that believe again in the Christian faith and the founding fathers and how our country started. Those are the type of people we want to recruit, because when we turn the heat up and we're going to start battling things, 5 years from now, if there's another unlawful bill passed that's unconstitutional, we'll have enough resources available to get big lawyers involved and take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And that's another avenue that we want to fight. It's not just supporting candidates. It's not just the biggest part, the biggest elephant in the room of our organization is really to bring faith back into politics and bring faith back into the American homes. And then the third pillar would be is to end all non America First policies and candidates. We will just like some politicians today, they'll target rhinos, they'll call them out and say, I'm looking for someone to run against this person. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be vocal. We're going to call people out. We need to be transparent. And I'm sick, everyone in our country and globally really is sick and tired of the broken promises, the freedoms being taken away. Every day we see something going on globally and even in our country that terrible things go on when it relates to freedom. And it's taken us to a dark place, and that's why our organization is working as hard as we can.
This is a family show. And sometimes I have to remind myself not to say certain things because you nailed it. You're spot on. You're spot on with it, and you're absolutely right. And in my years of being in and around politics, I find it funny that as a candidate, it's really been no different than when I wasn't running, dealing with the scene and dealing with some of the people and the attitudes and the conversations and everything. It's really been no different. But what I did find starkly different, the one thing that I have, I could say, if somebody was to ask me today, what is the one thing that you learned as a candidate, is that the people who you call your friends within the party, within the party, are not your friends. There are those, and this, you can almost put these folks into the categories of rhinos, but it's on both sides. So I can't relegate it to just rhinos. But you'll know immediately who's in it to actually help change the trajectory of the country, and who's in it just for the money. You will identify it, and you will pick it up so fast that it will make your head spin. And I would probably say that is the one thing that I have learned so far in this political run of mine, is that you learn just in the first 30 seconds almost in a conversation who's in it for the money and who's in it for changing America or maintaining America. You will know immediately. And so it's been disheartening. I would say the least. It's disheartening because you'll pan all 535 members of Congress, and we see it every day. If you sat back and we actually analyzed by name each member of Congress, you will know who's in it for the money, who's in it for America. And we see that there's more people.
News.
Go ahead.
Related to that, the unfortunate part about that, it's guaranteed going to be a higher percentage of people.
Exactly. I was just going to say. That's what I was about to say. Is when you boil it all down, it is more people in it for the money, for the prestige, and the fame, and everything else, than there are that's in it for America. And the ones that's in it for America, you know who they are. You're Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're Lauren Boebert, Andy Biggs, Rand Paul. There's a few. There are a few.
Jim Jordan.
Thank you. I was trying to think of Jim Jordan. There's a few of them. But they're weaning off. They're weaning off. And Matt Gaetz, unfortunately, today, I think today was the day that he officially resigned, or it was yesterday. He officially resigned from Congress to go work in the Trump, for Trump's communications. So we're losing them, and to better, I guess you could say better things, because he can only do so much in Congress. But there are strength in numbers, and I recognize that as well. So it's crazy, but I'm gonna jump on my soapbox. Like I said, this is a family show, and I would tend to get emotional every now and then. And I said last year that I was gonna stop getting emotional on my show. So, but well, we got a few minutes left here. How do people get involved into your organization? What are you looking for in terms of bringing in new players, more people? Go ahead, tell us how can folks do that? How can they get involved?
Okay, well, good question. People get involved when they know how, and that's the first step is, expressing to them how to get involved. I believe a lot of people are alone in their beliefs, and they're down and shamed by those that disagree with their beliefs, and then they just shut down and they get depressed, or they go silent, or they go in their wall. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we built a platform, right, so they could speak safely, whatever on their mind, whatever issues that's going on at the local level. And what's really positive is because everyone has a different personality, right? Human beings are different. So some of the non-social introverts that are kind of shy or whatever, they feel really comfortable. They're like, I'm actually with people that live and breathe and believe in the same things that I do, right? So it's a positive feeling to actually, if you lived in a liberal state or a county that's, under attack with all these crazy rules and regulations, and then you get in these fights, even in a family, right? Constant hitting walls, and then you come and read America First, and everybody's saying the same tune. We're all saying the same thing. So how to get involved, really is to connect with our various social media sites and our website, and start participating on our weekly calls. We as you mentioned early on in the show, the outreach and I guess team building and growing your organization and your following is a real tough challenge, especially as a conservative, right? Because any time that you want to grow something on a platform that's controlled by big tech, they could easily slow you down, suspend you, mark you as spam, and there you go, right? Now you're silent for 10, 15, 30 days, and I'm in this 90-day cycle now, and it hurts our numbers to grow. It hurts my ability to touch other fellow Americans or people globally that want to know what's going on, because we do put out good information that you won't hear on mainstream media. So we want you to get involved, get on our weekly calls. I'm more focused on building the team. We are a 50 nonprofit 503 501c, but I really want to build my network across the country, my 50 states. I want my the local levels communicating what's going on, and I want to start providing solutions to those challenges that are happening, because the unheard Americans are fed up and nothing's happening for them. And this was kind of our, the other co-founders that we're partnered with, right? So I'll mention them now. We have Ken Gosnell. He's a big Christian leader and a Christian type of individuals all over the country. He actually owns a company called the CEO Experience, and the CEO Experience is a consulting firm that brings faith back into the workforce, right? Because we need faith in the workforce too. We need faith back in school. We should have a daily prayer, right? We used to do daily prayer. We used to do
The Pledge of Allegiance and
thank you, the Pledge of
Yep.
Allegiance, right? One nation under God, and slowly things try to get pushed out and forgotten about, and a year goes by, 2 years go by, you forget that you did that daily, right? And that's what their goal was, is to push the Christianity faith a little bit, bring people closer to what they want to bring, and that's a different story outside of this discussion. But we just want people to be part of our organization. So
Yeah, absolutely, and I would do everything that I can to get the word out and promote Red America First and get people involved, because like you said, with the different platforms that are out there right now, I kind of like gotten off of Facebook. I get on there every now and then just to let people know I'm alive. But I kind of gotten away from Facebook recently these last few weeks, and I've been just kind of like focused on Getter. I'm playing around with Twitter a little bit more, but I'm just cautious on what I'm saying on Twitter because I know I'm gonna get banned or blocked on there. But Getter, MeWe, Gab, Parler. I'm on the more the conservative, heavier side of the platforms, and just communicating and chatting and networking with folks on those platforms, and I will like I said, promote Red America First over there to them as well. That way they would have something alternative in the event that Getter, Gab, MeWe, and all that decide to turn on us. We'll have that alternative landscape to come to, and we can continue our mission together, because it is important that the international community is working together to combat the retardedness, the craziness, the egregiousness that is going on against humanity right now. And like you said, the vaccine mandates, mask mandates, telling people that their children are that they're not entitled to tell the school districts what to do with their children. Like, where are we at? It's like when was it Terry McAuliffe that said that? Yeah, the governor, the one that was running for governor in Virginia. I'm like, where is he from? Like, is this guy serious right now? And he walked out of there without a scratch.
Wow.
That's amazing. Not that I'm wishing violence on anyone, but the reality of things, the reality of life. When I was growing up in Chicago, somebody said something that you are not entitled to your children to do so. You best believe some blood is going in the drains that day, So it's crazy, but I'm glad that he skated out of there unharmed, because had he been anywhere else, it would have been a different story. The headlines would have read something totally different. But outside of that, Ash, got a couple minutes left. Tell us where we can find you, follow you, and all that good stuff.
Yes, first and foremost, thank you so much, Randy, for having me on. You're an amazing patriot, and we're going to stand behind your campaign, and we're going to push you to the finish line. It's on tonight first. And before we close, I would like to say a prayer for you and the campaign that you're going to be doing. But in relation to how to follow us, our website, redamericafirst.com, we actually have a forum on there. Sign up and report what's going on locally, to let us know and let the team work on that local issue with the candidates that are running, or assuming that there's a America First politician that's already in office, right? So let us work those issues out. That's redamericafirst.com. And also there you can also donate on our website. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Red Patriot. So Red Patriot is what you put in the URL after facebook.com. And then our alias on Twitter, Rumble, Telegram, LinkedIn is @RedAmericaFirst. So the at Red America First, and that's it. So like you mentioned earlier, it's really hard to grow. So we're just going to have to do these videos and share the link out as much as we can, and really the more people that we're connected with and share that link, we're just touching more people, and that's the only way to really get the word out. So,
absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Weis with Red America First. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir, and good luck in all your future endeavors and everything. Going into 2022, the battle is not over, and we got a long road ahead of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I am past the bottom of my hour, but coming up in the next hour is David McQuell with Global Impact. So be sure to keep it locked right here. He's gonna probably call me and say get off the show, so he can get going. So God bless you all. Take care. Take it easy. Be safe. See you on Monday, God willing. God bless.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.